pulled into a store the other day, and I happened to see, looking into the window, that one of these headlights was out. So I'm wondering how hard it's going to be to change. All right. So of course it's not going to be as simple as taking a little shade off and unscrewing your bulb and putting it back in. They got it mounted up and behind all this water windshield washer bottle. You got an extra battery plate. Luckily my battery's not on this side, it's on the other side. But in order to get this out of the way, and unless you got really small hands, or you can get your little somebody to go in there and finagle it and got talent, she can get it out for you. But otherwise, this is what you got to deal with. There's well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 all together, and they're all 10 millimeter, which I was hoping they were 3/8, which that means I had to dig out my millimeter, which means I probably should invest in nothing but millimeter nowadays with everything going to that. So with that being said, I took all them out already. So now this plate should just come right out of here, which it does after removing every bolt. And so now, and I believe the dim, I am not sure, better double check, but I thought the dim was the top, but I'm probably going to change them both. But let's see if we can get the water bottle out of the way easy enough, and then we can get right at that bulb, hopefully. Okay, so I don't know if you can see it, but if you move this water bottle back a ways, and I can get my hand in there now, but I've never been able to get my hand in there with this water bottle not dismounted, and you can't pull it back without taking that whole battery plate out. And I went to put the bulb in, and of course I showed them the truck when I pulled in, and I gave them the year and all that stuff, and somebody waited on me that gave me the wrong bulb. And that was a week or so ago, and then still have my receipt, but long story short, I took it into them, and luckily they gave me another one. And you must make sure that your bulb has these 3 little plastic tabs sticking out of it all the way around, because that's what locks it in place. The one I got was smooth all the way around, so it must have some kind of strap that holds it in. So anyways, what we do is when I took it out, it's a quarter turn to the left and it comes right out, so it should go right back in, slip right in there, and a quarter turn to the right, and your wire should snap right on with a little clip that holds it. You have to pull that little clip up just a hair to pull your harness off of it. So let's go ahead and give it a try here. All right, well, I do recommend some bulb grease, because they can overheat if you don't use it. And I've got it put in here. Use some nitro gloves if you prefer. And then when we go ahead and get it mounted, that way the terminals got some bulb grease on them, and it keeps it from overheating and melting your harness most of the time. So let's go ahead and see if we can find that little hole down there. Well, there, as you can see, that's hard to show me install it, but it was just shove it in. And it was a quarter turn, shove it in with it facing almost 12 o'clock, and turn a quarter turn to the right, and it locks in, and then you go ahead and plug your harness back in, and hopefully it's going to work. So let's do a test. So it's kind of deceiving, actually, where the bolt was, or it's kind of deceiving. I was actually wrong when I took the bulb back, because I was saying she gave me the wrong one, or they, he, whatever, gave me the wrong one because I said it did not match. Well, it didn't match because I was taking out the high beam, and because of that, that's why it didn't match. I had to, the way I figured it out was I turned around and looked, said I couldn't find a hole, turned around and looked at the front, and I'm like, I'm sticking it in the wrong socket. So long story short, I ended up going back to the auto parts, buying that part back because it was the right one, And the one I changed wasn't bad, so I ended up keeping that one. So now I have exchange of bulbs, 2 for bright and 1 for a dim. And the reason was because it was when I was pulling this thing out here to try to get to it, which I'm sure it's hard to see, but I just reached straight in. Come find out it's up so high that you really do have to have small hands to work on this stuff. So I don't know if you can see, but the bad one is this one on the left, the first one you're looking at, and then here's a good one on the right. As you can see, the filament in it, which I call it the little coiled spring, is kind of uncoiled, or probably has a disconnection in it someplace. That's why it unwound and ain't quite as neat as the right. But that's how you can tell that it's bad. If you take it out, it's pretty obvious. So if you need to know, the dims are the H11s in the basic, and in the basics 9005 are your bright bulbs. Just so for your information, that's Sylvania. But just so you know, this side's probably the easiest side to do. I mean, unless you have a battery installed. But just so you know, if you come over here to this side, then you have to deal with all of this stuff. The air cleaner is going to have to be removed, and all this stuff over here is going to be pulled out just to get to the light bulb. So with that being said, they don't make it easy for anyone to change a bulb on a vehicle, especially the GMC. Well, it says it's 86 degrees outside, and with the humidity here in Michigan, it feels like 95 plus. But I can't complain because I'm sure it's hotter out west, but it's drier too, so that's a benefit of the dryer. But anyways, use the grease because it keeps your connection from overheating and melting your connection. I mean, because I've had other vehicles where the whole connector melted. So if you don't use the grease, that's might possibly going to happen. So it's a good idea to use grease. And it's just a pain because every time you go to change something on this vehicle in particular, any vehicle, they always make it so difficult to get to anything that I just don't understand it. But don't make it simple for nobody. That it seems like every time I work on something that I lose something, a chalk, a bit, a glove, who knows? It's always something. And the bulbs alone. $32 for bulbs. That's crazy. $32 for 4 bulbs. It's stupid. But hey, what can you expect with who's running the system? All right, well, if you like this, you saw that, and hey, I'll be coming back with some more. So like and subscribe. See you on the next one.